Hello and welcome to my talk for the Assess with Dyslexia conference on neurodiversity and mental health in the workplace, helping people find positive ways to cope. And myself, I am a Dr. Neil Alexander Pass. Welcome. Well, about me, I am dyslexic. My first career was a graphic designer, and about 12 years ago, I retrained to be a secondary school teacher, looking to work in a sense. So I was really coming in to try and fix a broken system, and I'm currently the NMC assistant head at Senco at a prep school, which is the middle between a primary and a secondary school near Watford in North London. I am the author of 14 books looking at dyslexia, mental health, success, and crime. Crime is my latest book. My PhD was on dyslexia, school trauma, and post-school success. And you will see here a book relating to this subject, authored in 2015, and is doing very well with the reviews on Amazon. So yes, many books looking at different things, and my books are very much a narrative to my own life, growing up as a dyslexic person. So you will see here to the right are the earlier books, Dyslexia and Depression, and then looking at to the right how dyslexia affects dating, marriage, and parenthood, and boy it does. And then as a creative dyslexic, I was looking to find out whether it was a common thing to find creatives like me, and that book pulls together authors from around the world, artists as well as academic researchers, and it's a similar thing with this dyslexia and mental health, which was a 2005 book. So that was a earlier piece. And then you will see to the top left, surviving school as a dyslexic teenager is really a book trying. It is a easy to read dip-in book targeting parents, and then dyslexia and mental health, and also the successful dyslexic. I was really looking for the keys of why some are successful and others are not. And it interviewed I think 25 people who are successful and 15 who are less so, to look for common themes in their life. And then to the bottom you will see three thrillers. I set myself a challenge to write dyslexic based fiction, and the dyslexic virus is a thriller. So hey, so what is dyslexia? Well, it's difficulties with reading, writing, and spelling, handwriting, but it's messy. And why? Well, it is covering up spelling mainly, or poor spelling. All organization. So you will typically find this dyslexic filing is not filing and creating piles. So you will have piles of papers around the office or by the side of the bed, because filing really isn't their forte. Short-term memory. So imagine the memory of an ant, and you will be close. So me personally, I will lock my car door. I will press the fob, and I will go. And there are lights, and a noise, bibbing and lights. I will walk 2 or 3 steps and then forget whether the car is locked or not. So I go back and check. Coordination is a common thing. Difficulties knowing your left from right. I will always lay the table the wrong way, is because it makes sense to me, and just not knowing my left from right. So I don't know my left hand, however, I know that my left hand isn't my right hand. So if that makes sense. So if you say, Neil, turn and left, I will mime writing with my right hand, and then know it is the other empty hand. Sounds weird. And okay, let's move on. So the effects of it are difficulties learning to read and write, hard to see understand what's read, difficulty with short-term memory and facts, hard tying shoelaces and ties, messy handwriting, difficulty to remember sequences. So I should do this first, and then that, and then that. Difficulty hearing phonetics, thus spelling what they will hear, and letter reversal. So there is a whole mix of difficulties here, which are not suited to mainstream learning or schools. It really is everything that you wouldn't want someone to have within a mainstream school setting. Why? Is because they can't assess the learning, or say they can, they can't record it in a neat way, and that causes kids to have their hands in their heads, because they are frustrated. They can't do it. Everyone else around them can do it, and they feel the odd one out, which really isn't great for a child's emotional well-being. And so they try and cope. And how do they cope? Well, avoidance is one of the biggest strategies. Avoiding what? Avoiding reading and writing, avoiding the radar eyes of the teacher, avoiding taking notes, avoiding taking messages, avoiding going out, is because they can't trust that they will get to the right place at the right time. They will also face, and obviously, humiliation from teachers and peers. So that means that these teacher will go, oh, Neil, what, you can't spell that, really? Oh, it's an easy word. Okay, or your peers saying, oh yeah, look, you made a real mess in class. Are you stupid? Okay, that's so common, and that moves on to the playground, and that means that they are socially just not seen to be within the in crowd. In fact, the in crowd just might avoid them. because they are on the thick table or the slow table, and this causes huge frustration for the teaching trades, is because you've got a child who orally is really strong and will join in a class, but they will struggle to record it, to put it down. So they are seen as being lazy, you know, lazy because they know it, but can't put it down. And this causes them to begin to be obviously helpless. They begin to doubt their own ability, and they listen to their teachers calling them stupid or thick, and they begin to believe it. So the emotional health really suffers, and that can cause them to just try and develop a range of obviously strategies, like avoiding writing, avoiding reading aloud in class, using smaller words they can spell rather than obviously complex words they can't, relying on obviously OCD sequences so they don't forget things. I mean, me in the morning, unless everything is in my cupboard following a shower, I will forget it. I might even forget cleaning my teeth, say that the toothpaste run out, and I would think, oh yes, leaving there, I will pick up another toothpaste from the bathroom and then clean my teeth. But I would have forgotten that within seconds of leaving my tea shower room. Having a smaller circle of friends, relying on others to check work. So they will do the homework, and that's done, and they give it to a parent to check, and then they are wholly relying on that parent to check it and to fix it for them. Okay, so a dyslexic child will turn into a dyslexic adult, and that's not healthy. Avoidance breeds endlessly isolation. Isolation could be great for a child to just to endlessly protect them, but as an adult, no, it's not good. That means that they won't go and date, they won't meet people, they won't get married, they won't have kids. I mean, I know from my research for the book on dating that many will not want kids of their own because they don't want them to suffer the way they did at school. So carrying through that trauma to the next generation. Partners just not getting why they avoid taking phone messages for them, or why they buy the wrong things in the supermarket, or why they forget to pay bills. A partner doesn't get it because they think, oh look, you're an adult. Oh yes, you were dyslexic as a child, but now you're grown up. It doesn't go away. And also PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. So the parent with a young child will go back into primary school for them, and they will freak out. They will see the small chairs. They will smell these the floor cleaner. They will see work being pinned up. All these things trigger them so much so that they get really angry, really defensive, and they will never go back. So they will avoid going back back into school for their own kids for school plays or to meet these teachers. Now, sometimes the anger is valid, is because there is a strong chance that they will have children with similar difficulties. And hearing the teacher saying, "Oh no, Max, so Max is just a bit slow. He's a bit immature. He needs time. No, it isn't dyslexic. No need to worry." And the parent who is dyslexic themselves and said, "No, he is doing the same things that I was doing growing up." And the teacher saying, "Well, no, I know best," and that causes anger, and that causes them to gain self-doubt, and for them to have emotional well-being difficulties. And this causes both the young child and them depression. So low mood, they can't sleep, they relive the trauma of their own school, and every single time there was another trigger for them, the depression comes on. So the triggers that they felt in school, being made to read and write, will also trigger within the workplace, and which is the main topic of this talk. So the emotional cause that we were saying before, it's withdrawing from social groups, depression. They might look to self-harm, so food or cutting or drugs, and alcohol, and sadly, and obviously, attempted suicide. But why? Well, why? Because they don't feel worthy. I know myself growing up in a fat family without a parent or a sibling with similar difficulties. I felt I was adopted. I felt I didn't fit in. I didn't feel worthy. Attempted suicide is a cry for help, but also it's trying to tell others that they can't cope. Okay, so someone for my book told me that they grew up wanting and looking forward to a drive, and I went, okay, that's great. You're looking forward to drive and freedom, and they went, no, looking forward to learning to drive, to crash into a wall and die, because they didn't feel worthy, and they felt that that was the easiest way out for them. And that's really sad. I mean, it was the people I talked to are, it's really powerful. I mean, the book on depression, I was looking for, gosh, it's got filters on this, sorry. So my book on depression was looking for a sample of 15 who were depressed, 15 who were not depressed. And every single time I thought I had found someone who wasn't depressed, I spoke to them and they were depressed, either as a child or now as an adult. The amount of depression within the dyslexic group is huge, because they've been through so much trauma. They've been put down as kids, and they feel that they are thick, and it's near enough being barred from the society they live in. And they're told that they're stupid from a young age. It's because they can't read and write, which is perceived to be a really basic skill. to be able to read, write, and to do maths. You know, we see this as a near enough as a human right. And say you don't obviously have those skills, you are faulty, you are abnormal. No one's really not normal. And we now talk about the average range or the average person. There isn't really that just that either. But this term normal, no one is really normal. There are people who are more common, and it's much more common to be able to read and write, but no one's normal. No, everyone is a bit different, and this is where the term neurodiversity comes in. Everyone is No one is a purely dyslexic or purely autistic. It's because you will find that you will have a little bit of this and little bit of that, and this is what neurodiversity is. It's because all of them merge. The Venn diagrams merge, and so they overlap. So someone who is dyslexic might obviously have OCD traits, or they might have some ADHD traits. Okay, it's quite common for those with autism to obviously have ADHD as well. So all these things merge. Okay, and you will find dyslexic traits running through many of the conditions of neurodiversity. And sadly, we were talking about suicide. True figure of the number of people who will commit suicide relating to dyslexia is unknown. There is some research done in the US, but very little, and there's none done in the UK. And the official stats come from suicide notes. Just think about that, suicide notes. So the only way that someone is going to record that someone has died relating to dyslexia is if they leave a note, which is in some ways ironic, because the reason for them committing suicide is they can't write, they can't read and write. So therefore, unless they leave a note, they are not. It isn't going to be recorded, and this is why this slide to me is really powerful. Is because they will choose smaller words and say I'm fine, rather than being able to spell depressed and sad and hurt and confused and lonely and judged. It's easier saying I'm fine, you know. So therefore no one really knows, and forcing people to read and write for their communication is like trying to force someone in a wheelchair to a walk. You know, it's not a reasonable thing to ask. In fact, dyslexia is one of a large group of people who obviously have a hidden and obviously disability. And my last book just looks at this, and I'll be showing this to the end. Gosh, okay. these filters on here, but this book, in Invisible Differences, Visible Success, really talks about the broad range. It's a range of difficulty, the broad range of neurodiverse difficulties who will sort of struggle with a hidden and obviously ability or obviously difference. So why attempt suicide? Well, I said being misunderstood, feeling alone, wanting a way out of their daily torture, feeling worthless, stuck in a family without others, with dyslexia, and unable to find suitable employment. And again, it's coming back to the theme of this book, employment. So the challenge is to find the right roles. The need to find the right role for a person's skills and abilities. Again, look, skills and abilities. I'm not saying difficulties. So if we can really grasp a person's skills and abilities, then we will find a good match for them. Okay. Now it's quite common for those with dyslexia to develop more visual strengths, or more vocal strengths, or more creative, or more vocational strengths, is because it allows them to do well without the need to read and write. So career guidance in schools in the past has been shockingly bad. They will say, okay, well, you've struggled at school. How about having a nice, safe office job? That's the worst place. Worst place. Why? Because you're going to have to do data input, which is to move in information from a piece of paper to a screen. So copying, the difficulties found in class, copying from the whiteboard. It is knowing how to spell, how to file things in a obviously alphabetical way. So that ability to know your A, B, C, D, E all the way up to Z. In fact, I will test in schools, and one of my tests is the ABC test. So 2 minutes, how many times can you write your ABC to Z and then start it again? Now, those who are dyslexic will know their the alphabet to about F or G, and then they will rely on the song. So they will not be able to go beyond G without singing the song. So they sing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So they put down J and K, and then I have to start the song again, is because they don't know it. Now, the difficulty is that most kids mislearn the LMNOP. So therefore they don't really know their the alphabet. So they would go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, O, P, M, or O, and they miss out that. So they don't really have that memory of the alphabet. So getting them to file is the worst job for them. So coming back to this, the need to find the right role with the person's skills and abilities, avoiding roles that will highlight the difficulties in reading, writing, spelling, all in the organization. Asking for the allowances. So it's something called access to work, which is a government scheme where if you apply within, I think, the first 6 weeks of joining a company, they will assess your needs and give you the right software and screens you need, or a proofreader. So there is government support for this, and this is about making use of software like spell checkers or word processing. So for the books I write, I will use Word, I will proofread. I will print. I will read it on. I will use the built-in spell checker and grammar checker. I will then read it out again. I will then print it and read it again, and then feed in the corrections to the book. So it really is about using software, and it's about, but not relying on it. Okay. Again, you will see squiggly lines showing up in Word docs. The squiggly lines says there's a spelling error, but giving you the choice of 2 or 3 spellings for you to choose from. So it won't fix everything for you, but it is fairly good. The roles. Okay, so different research has been done on roles, and nursing is one a role where you do find many dyslexics. Why? Well, it's a caring role. It's a hands-on caring role. It's being good with people. That's one of their skills. However, there is a large part of the role that is requiring them to take notes, like legal notes of medication, to read notes left for them to give the right medication, and some peers of their peers, the doctors and nurses have really question whether they are reliable enough. So therefore, being empathetic for the role isn't enough. Social care roles, similar thing. So they are really great at people skills. However, they struggle with the management of a large caseload. It requires them to have all organisation skills and to record notes. It's because they could be used for legal cases. So let's talk about what are jobs. It's quite common to be asked what jobs are best for people who are dyslexic, and the answer surprises them. The answer is any job. Any job can be done, so you give the right support. So I know that there are professors who are dyslexic. There are doctors and surgeons who are dyslexic. There are lawyers. There are writers. There are teachers. There are dustmen. There are, oh no, you can't call them dustmen now. That's not PC. I think it's refuge people. But teachers, police people. I cannot say gender base there. So police people, prison officers, any job really, any job. With the right support, they are able to do any job. I mean, I thought, saying I look back to my own childhood, the idea that I would be a teacher was laughable. The idea that I would write books would be laughable. Okay, so you learn and see strategies, and that will allow you to cope with many things. Okay, so there's no job where they can't do things, but with the right support. So whether it is with dyslexia, or with autism, or it is with ADHD, if you can work out the person's skills and abilities, then you can find the jobs that fit well. So for a person who is autistic, okay, giving them a creative writing job isn't going to be great. But if you give them a job in a medical field, in a surgical theatre, where things must be done in a correct way, or in a correct order, they are perfect. You know, in a packing where just where in a packing warehouse where people must do things in a specific way, or a in a making cars where you have to keep to strict standards, then someone who is autistic is going to be perfect for that. Now, someone who is ADHD, if you give them an office job, they're going to hate it and they're going to struggle. They need change. They need movement. So getting them to work in a warehouse, or in a big supermarket, or in a DIY shop, or as a salesperson moving about all the time, that's going to suit them. But don't put them in an office job where you are forcing them to sit in a office for 6 or 7 hours a day. That's just not going to work. It's not working to their skills, and it's not avoiding roles that they will struggle with. So really, it is about finding out about them, okay, and working out what they're good at, okay, and avoiding jobs that they would struggle in, and asking for, and obviously, allowances, or a needs based, and obviously, assessment, access to work, and using the software. There's so much software around. I mean, for me to write bullet points in a email was perfect. It's not requiring me to write huge and see paragraphs of text. So emails work really well for me. They're short and they're sweet. So yes, my new books. One is the Success for Dyslexic, and the book I'm finishing now is called Dyslexia and the Pathways to Crime. And really, it's looking at why there were so many dyslexics found within prison, and it's quite easy to work out why, if the UK government research suggests that between 50 and 80% of prisoners have a reading age of below 11 years old, which means they can't get jobs. They can't. They've left school with very few paper qualifications, and can't get training jobs. They can't go to college and join level 1 or level 2 courses. So when we're talking about the workplace, if they can't get a job, then turning to crime, where they are given these feedback that they can do things because it is more physical. It's working to their strengths. And if you work to a person's strengths, then their self-esteem grows. It gives them some self-worth. They know that they can do something, whether it is a job or in crime. They get gaining that positive feedback that they are worthy, that they have something to give, that they can do a job, they can earn money, that they can put food on the plate for their family. So that if they are in a job that they hate, they're going to come out depressed. and if it isn't a job that's not working to their strengths, then they are not going to stay in that job long, which is going to lead to self-doubt and a poor mental health. So thank you for listening. My books can be found on Amazon, and look out for my new book in 2023. Wow, gosh, I do recall turning to the year 2000. So yes, the year 2023 is next year. Okay, thank you. Okay, bye bye. Stop sharing.